YouTube, welcome back to the channel. We are here in our realignment series with the Akron Zips. We are in 2030. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to click on the video. I hope you hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and leave a comment to tell me how you are liking the series. As I mentioned, we are in 2030, and we did a thing. And that's where we're going to start. We lowered the conference games to 10, which opens the door for these types of games. We are going to have Alabama come to us week one to avenge our playoff loss last year down in Tuscaloosa. Then on week 5, we are going to host Oregon State, who is ranked at this point in time. So again, these are really the games that we're looking for. We're not going to put FCS West and those types of games on our schedule. We want to play these highly anticipated matchups like this one, right? It's a revenge game essentially for us. And then another ranked opponent. Will they be ranked in week 5? We don't know. They've been pretty consistently ranked in their conference, so hopefully they stay that way. So that's really the big change we made in the off season, outside of all the other players that we added. Right. Week 3, we go to Ohio to start the MAC play. It was kind of a weird schedule. We had a game here, then this game, then a bye. So honestly, we kind of made it a weird schedule, but we have a big non-conference game, a bye, a conference game, bye, big non-conference game, into a big conference game at Notre Dame. Then we go to Toledo, we go to Michigan. Then we host Bowling Green, who's always a thorn in our side. So that's unfortunate because this is going to be a huge recruiting week, I think, just because of the nature of the schedule. And then we go to Miami of Ohio. Then we go to Ohio State. Then we host Purdue finally. I mentioned this in the last video. It always feels like we go to Purdue. Then we are at Michigan State and then finish at home against our rival in Kent State. So tough recruiting schedule. We realistically, week 5 is going to be tough, but then we have only 9, 12, and 14 to get recruits on campus, and we play all 3 Big 3 schools, and all of them are away. So it should be a very interesting year. All right, we are hopping into the team. I don't want to do it that way. We are hopping in here to the team just to show you some of the players. Mueller is a senior now, and he is one of our superstars on offense. This is kind of a guy that we kind of recruited just to see how he would progress as an improviser and how he'd play, right? Like pull down and off platform. Those are pretty good physical attributes to have. So I'm really interested to see how he plays. Van Ginkel is going to be the backup. Choice is actually going to get redshirted. I'm 95% sure. And then Faulkner didn't have a really good offseason, which is a bummer because he's an elite dev. So hopefully this season he has a bigger jump. But as a scrambler, though, like 85 speed, like we have these 2 guys that are higher speed than him, and much better accuracies at this point. So we will see how that progresses. In the running back room, we have Jose Bale. He's a junior this year. He's an 89 overall. He has 93 speed. This guy is really fun to use. I wish his change of direction was better. I feel like that kind of hinders his usability a little bit, but he is still pretty fun to use. Pinner, Holly, We got Lipinski in the transfer portal. DeBose and Harris is probably going to get redshirted down there. He's a 5-star. I'm pretty sure he has star development as well. We have our fullback, our receivers. Okay, we have some pretty good speed. Frost, especially, we're going to get to see him on the field. He's going to be in our slot spot, and and then obviously these two have been in the slot before, and have played uh, big downs for us. Le Guin's probably going to get redshirted just because he's that far down the chart. Then our tight ends, as you can see, we are moving receivers and really recruiting speed at the tight end spot. Left tackle. So our O line, this is pretty much our last hurrah, I would say. Um, Brittenham has been a pillar since moving from right tackle when he was a freshman, I think. Now he's to the left tackle, been starting for the last 2, maybe 3 years. Senior, 89 overall, in Stewart. We have a senior center. However, likely has an elite dev trait, so I'm probably going to play likely over Soro. Then we have a sophomore redshirt right guard, 88, in Joey Lyle. And then Tyron is going to play as a star dev. So originally we had a senior here, we had a senior at center, we had a senior at left guard, we had a senior at left tackle. But there's some young guys that have progressed over those seniors. So the left side for sure though is the last hurrah, which is very important. Martindale, he is now a senior at left end. Teamer and Drogue are there as well. I'm gonna let Teamer play, and Drogue too, because I think he's a normal development trait. So he's probably gonna play. Drogue might get redshirted. I'm not sure yet. Isian's gonna play. No, Isian's gonna get redshirted. And then I'm going to let Aw jump Lewis and play, and then McNutt's going to get redshirted as well. The only reason is these two have impact dev trait, and the other two have normal. So just to have another year of progression with them. D tackles, really heavy on the top side here. We moved Sheed from D end to D tackle. So we'll see. And main reason is he had 92 strength, and we needed depth at D tackle for sure. So our top three are mid 80s and above. Lorig down here is a junior, is an 80 as well. So D tackle's really deep, but they're getting older. Outside linebacker, we got a senior in Crouch, mid 80. Free is a sophomore now. He's a stud. He played super well last year. He's an 88 overall as a sophomore. Corral is going to be the backup to him. Then we got Osgood, who has 90 speed. We have Enkampali, who is also a freshman. So we have a bunch of freshmen with decent speed, I guess, down here in the middle linebacker spot. Then we have Cone, who's a senior. I'm leaning towards playing McClure. McClure has a star development trait, and he has 85 speed. So look for McClure playing over Cone. Then our corners, we have 3 83 overalls, and then an 82 and an 81 overall. The guy to look out for is Volek. He has 99 speed. I'm kind of in a predicament of whether to redshirt him or not. I'm leaning towards not redshirting him. He'll be a return guy, and we can find a way to get him on the field for sure. Horner is now a senior. He's an 88 overall. Merchant moved from free safety to strong safety, and he is going to be playing this year for sure. Dunbar with 96 speed. Look for him in like a sub linebacker spot, but hopefully he has a good offseason and he jumps Merchant, because 84 speed is just not it. That's why I moved him to strong safety, though. It's going to be in the box a little bit more and that type of stuff. And then we got our junior kicker is an 81 overall, and our junior punter who's a 78 overall. So that's the team. I showed you the schedule. The last thing to kind of get into the season here is we're going to look at the recruiting board. And last year, I felt like we hindered our class a little bit, even though we finished like number 2 or 3 in the nation, which blew my mind. But we recruited 7 5-stars last year. So that was kind of the saving grace in that. So coming into this year, I felt like I wasted a lot of time with those top end guys and then ended up losing them down the stretch. And the reason we lose them, not the scouting part, is our grades. And as you can tell, our grades are getting better. But still not great, right? So what I decided to do was I went with 5-stars that were already interested and or had a pipeline with us. That way it was a little bit easier, and we got that pipeline boost. We already had interest. So all this stuff kind of played into us going after us. So this guy, for example, I'm not going to go through everybody, but for this guy, for example, we're like number 3 last week. And we offer him a scholarship and we jump because he was interested and he has a pipeline with us. Donahue, I think we're down at 8. We're up to 3. So just those types of things is kind of where we're going. These guys we offered, we weren't able to crack the top 8 yet, but we're going to put a bunch of points on them. And then as we go down, you will see that we have a bunch of 4-star gems that we're going after. And then some guys that we really like this guy has really good strength. He has really good strength. MacGyver has very good speed. Bugs is really good at a lot of different things. This athlete has good strength. This quarterback is a gem. He should be all the way up at the top. And then we have these 2 guys that were really interested in us to begin with. They probably don't have great development traits, but they're actually pretty solid in, like this guy's 95 speed, I think. Yeah, 90 excel. His tackle's bad. His press isn't terrible. Like I've seen worse, right? So that's kind of how I approached it. Even with the 4-stars, I felt like we wasted a lot of hours last year in 4-stars trying to get up on boards and different things. So realistically, looking at people that are interested and we have pipeline interest in, that way we're not wasting as many points as I felt like we did last year. So that's kind of the idea in the recruiting pool. Here we are, week 1, going in to the game against Alabama in a rematch of the college football playoff opening round that saw us losing to Alabama last year. So can we turn the result to our favor? An absolute rout, proving different team this year, right? But we lost some really, really good players, proving that last year and home field advantage took us out of the college football playoff when we shouldn't have been there in the first place. We should have had a bye. But we're on to this year. I played 2 possessions of this offense early. I only scored 1 touchdown. The other one was a punt, but that offense felt great. It felt good. So apparently there was an error with the recording of the middle part of the season. So you just got done watching the week 1 game against Alabama in a revenge game, and you didn't see anything else, which is very disappointing because there was a lot of close games and a lot of gameplay within that, and at this point in time I can't do anything about that, and I know it's very disappointing and I'm very frustrated with it. However, you are going to see that we ended up in the MAC championship, and Yeah, so we ended up defeating Michigan and at the Big House. We ended up defeating Ohio State at the Shoe, and we defeated Notre Dame at Notre Dame. So we had the big three in our conference all away, and we handled business against all of them. And we did do battle with some of the lower teams in the conference as well. So there, like I said, there's a lot of gameplay, and I do apologize for the mishap, and I understand that it keeps happening, but I'm trying to learn on the fly with all this recording stuff and making sure that data doesn't get overused and all that different stuff. So, again, I deeply apologize, but you are going to be catching up here in the MAC Championship. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Conference Championship Week. We are taking on the 7-3 Ohio State Buckeyes. That is kind of insane that's the next best team in the MAC. 7-3, then it's Miami of Ohio, then Notre Dame and Michigan are all 6-4. We just beat each other up all year, I guess. Holy. All right, well, we know Ohio State's really tough. We were in an absolute barn burner with them when we played them at the Shoe earlier in the year. They're rated 91s across the board, so obviously going to be a tough game here in the the MAC championship game. All right, they scored late to make it close, but we were pretty much in control the entire time. I didn't have to hop in at all this game, and the boys took care of business. Bale, 80 rushing yards, 15 attempts, 1 touchdown. He broke a huge touchdown run in the sim. So there's another MAC championship for the Zips, and the MAC is really bad, actually, and which is kind of disappointing because you thought that the conference prestige would go up with the Ohio States and Notre Dames and the Michigans, but they've been kind of brutal. Colt Volek, freshman cornerback, 6 picks, 2 touchdowns, gets the best defensive back award for the year. Matt Free, best linebacker, 88 total tackles. That's it. That's kind of low for the best linebacker, but you win the award. So there's that. Okay. Now I have an issue. Last episode was named the way it was because we got absolutely hosed on not getting a bye. Both Maryland and Akron are 13-0, both of us, and we do not have a bye. There's 3 11-2 teams, and I get it. We're in the MAC, and Maryland's in somewhere else. Like, I get that point, right? But my gosh. So we host Maryland this time, and then we get to go to Georgia, or play Georgia. Then we have Ole Miss, Georgia Southern, who played Georgia, and they were like the number 4 team and number 5 team in the nation. So we have Clemson, Georgia Southern, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Maryland on our side. On the top side, you have Iowa, gross. Miami, not very good. Mizzou chokes every year. Oklahoma, defense is terrible. And then you have LSU, I guess. But, like, give me a break. All right, up 3. Coming up in a minute to go here. And we're going to get home. Fumble it. They have all 3 timeouts. All they need is a field goal to force overtime here. I mean, this is just, either way, this is just crazy to me. 2 undefeated teams playing each other in the college football playoff is insane. And the crazy part is like, they're a Big Ten team typically. So, like, oh, it's brutal. We're going to get pressure to them again. They're going to have to settle for a field goal. And they leave us time. It's going to be about 43 seconds probably after the kick. That's up, and it's good. It's tied. 44 seconds left. We're going to get the ball in for a chance to go down and at least get a field goal, right? So
here comes the Akron offense back out there. So here we go. One last chance to win it in regulation and avoid the risk.
Oh, we have him. We have him. The wheel route. That has been more prominent in that play this year than any other time. Typically, it's the slot fade, but they're really taking that away. And that's fine. That's fine to drag it out. We're just kind of wasting time at this point. But anyway, so the halfback wheel route has been way more prominent on that play than it has been in the past. We're going to pick up the first down. We're going to come out in the field goal. We're going to let it run down a little bit. They're probably going to call a timeout to ice us. Yeah. How many seconds are left? 11. We're actually going to go for a touchdown.
First down play call. How aggressive will it be? Here's the snap. Looking to throw here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, if we would have lost the fumble there, man, I would have been in pure agony. All right, they're probably going to try to ice again, but this is right down the middle, so there's no reason why we should miss this.
Just 3 seconds left. Time for one last play. So in the final seconds, everything comes down.
Right down the middle, plenty of leg, and we advance in the college football playoff over an undefeated Maryland Terrapins team. Hard-fought win. Good to be in a close game here to kind of get out the jitters of the playoff. All right, as we knew before taking on the Terrapins, we have Georgia waiting for us here in the Fiesta Bowl. Let's see what the ratings look like. Also, I'm playing with no coordinators. We fired our defensive coordinator, and we lost our OC. He left to be the Virginia Tech head coach. So as you can see on the left, it was 86, 89, 86, but because we lost those coach abilities, we are down to an 85 overall team. So that makes that even more difficult against a really good Georgia team.
Poor field position, backed up inside their own 10. 29. First and 10, will be a throw. Taking a shot here. Makes the catch downfield. Nothing but green grass ahead. Takes it all the way out.
All right, an absolute shootout here in the Fiesta Bowl. Our defense looked outclassed early. I think they scored like 34 points in the first half or something. But they've settled down, obviously. And our offense was a little bit slow of a start, but we were able to kind of lock in a little bit, get a couple big drives put together. Yeah, we're here in this position. We're going for it on 4th and 2, and Bale's going to be stopped. Probably should have taken the points there, to be honest. But defense holds again. What a huge possession from our defense. We're going to go ahead and take this punt return and see if we can get a lot of yardage back. It's looking like we can kind of go right up the middle. He has a bunch of wear and tear. He doesn't have the little boost that he typically has there on the return. But 137, we have 2 timeouts to work with. And Pete's just running away from everybody. He's going to put a spin move on, and he's going to pick up a bunch of yards there. It's going to be a 1st and 10. A minute 30 here left. We're going to look for our guy running across the field, running away from his defender. You can be a superstar all you want, but if you don't got the speed, you're not keeping up with him. So, again, offense moving, we just need a field goal. So we also have to keep that in mind, that we just need a field goal to find a way to win this game. And we fight all the way down to get another first down. What a big run by Bale. I think he got snubbed on the best running back in the nation. I think he led the nation in rushing. And he didn't win running back of the year. So it's an interesting idea or thought, but it is what it is. We're going to force them to call their final timeout, and I think it's, what, 3rd and 2? So we're going to be able to, A, run it to the right, hopefully be able to set it up down the middle for a field goal, and more overly get a first down. But we instead got it all the way down. We're going to go ahead and choose the clock, or we're not. So I guess we're going to have to sit here and wait for the 33 seconds, although I tried to, chew the clock, as you saw. But we're here. We got a, what is this, a 40-yard field goal here to take the lead on Georgia. They do not have any timeouts left. And, yeah, so we're going to try to take a 51-48 lead, which we do. 16 seconds left for Georgia. Looks like they... We just back off. They're going to just throw it away. They got 4 seconds left. One more play. We're playing cover 2, and I really don't like it. They're going to run the shots play. They're going to throw it up. They're going to catch it. We're going to come up, fake the tackle, and we escape with a 51-48 win. You could say it's an upset there with the 2 seed, but we are literally undefeated. So another huge win for the program to move into the college football semifinals. All right, Ole Miss in the Orange Bowl. We'll go ahead and check what the bracket ends up looking like right now. Number 8, Miami. I told you Mizzou. Told you Mizzou always chokes. The number 1 seed gets beat. Iowa gets absolutely trounced. Ours was a shootout, and then Ole Miss and Clemson had a pretty solid game. So there's what it looks like. We have the 3, 4, 7, 8 left here in the college football playoff. Without further ado, let's hop into the game against Ole Miss.
Line up, it's first down.
What the fuck kind of pass is that? All right, another battle here with Ole Miss. Under 3 minutes, we are down 6. We are in really great position to score here, however. And they've done their damage through the air, and we've done ours on the ground. Bale has been unreal. A bunch of big runs. Pinners come in, and he's been productive. So it's been very different styles of play, but it's been a really interesting to watch and to see. We're going to take this all the way down to the 2-minute warning. Sorry, the 2-minute timeout. We're down 6. They do have all 3 timeouts, it looks like. Nope. I can't tell of the blue, but we're going to dive into the end zone. I wanted him to be short, but that's okay. We'll take the lead here. We're going to hop in on defense as well, see if we can get a stop here. Again, we're kind of locked in a shootout, so defense hasn't been really playing well. But, you know, it's just kind of the way it is. As you can see, 419 for their quarterback and 5 touchdowns. So they're very comfortable in the position that they are, having to throw the ball down the field with the time and score. But they're just going to drop it off to the check down guy. We're going to come up and make the tackle pretty easily. Did that just say that guy had 20 catches? Or did that count as a handoff? He had 20 catches as a running back. That's crazy. Got to step up. He's going to step up. He's going to slide down. We're going to punt. It's a tie game. Did we miss the extra point? Oh my God, this entire time I thought we were in the... I thought we had the lead. Wasn't it a 6-point game? 38 to 44. Did we miss the extra point?
Ready up. Akron offense back out on the field now. Your worst case scenario, go to overtime. And make something.
I'm so confused on what's happening. We're going to step up, scramble with Mueller. Huge play from him. I still have shoot clock on. That's crazy.
And he takes off and picks up some nice yards.
All right, well, we need to get into field goal range here on this play. 8 seconds left. It's not looking like we're going to be able to. Can we attempt this field goal? $62-yarder. I don't even know if he has the leg. Well, we definitely didn't have the accuracy, and he had nowhere near the length. So, overtime it is, because apparently we missed an extra point. So, indeed, we missed the extra point. I went and I checked the scoring stuff, and yeah. So, also the guy had 20 catches, not, or 20 rushes, not catches. We're going to go back to him. Horner comes up, makes the play. It's going to be 3rd and 9. It'll be a huge stop here to start overtime. Then all we need is a field goal to win the game. Got a couple crossers. He's going to try to scramble for it. He's going to be short. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for them to do anything but go for this at this point. And they drop it. We are going to end up getting the ball here in overtime. And we realistically just need a couple yards in a field goal, and we have it wrapped up. So I'm going to go ahead and go screen pass to Bale to start. He gets caught up on the D tackle. It was a really good play by him, actually. So Mueller's going to step up. It's going to be 3rd and 8. We're going to just go ahead and give this to Bale. We don't want anything else crazy happening, so it's right down the middle. Bugs out here. Up, and it is good. Trevor Buggs misses the extra point. However, he makes another game-winning field goal kick here in the playoffs. 47-44 over Ole Miss. All right, national championship time. If I remember correctly, we got to the national championship 2 years ago. Yes, 2 years ago we got there, and ended up losing to Alabama, I believe. Nope, that was last year. I can't remember who we lost to, but so back in the national championship here. Miami was in a close one with TCU, but we have the 7th seed, the 8th seed, 16-0 Akron, 15-1 Miami. Let's hop in. 10-point game. Just had the 2-minute timeout. Up 10 in the national championship against Miami. They're going to throw it to their tight end, hits him in the back of the head, and it's going to drop. Our offense, they've been using timeouts, so I can't be too mad about it, but, like, we got to waste some time here. We're actually going to go to the air just to pick up the first down, and that is going to do it. We just had our backup quarterback in, and I didn't even notice that. Van Ginkel. Oh, boy. Well, good thing that it happened when it did. We don't need to score again, but we're going to prove a point that we should not have been the 7th seed. And arguably, they probably shouldn't have been the 8th seed either. But we are going to come away with the 17-point victory, and Akron is your national champions in 2030 with a 39-22 win over Miami. Season stats here. Mueller, again, I don't know why Van Ginkel, I don't know why he got in. I didn't check the injury, but he threw for 5,000 yards, 46 touchdowns, and only 10 picks. And I would probably argue that I threw 3 of those 10. So, he took 55 sacks, though. That's insane. That's crazy. Rushing-wise, 1,700 yards for Jose Bale. He's a junior. He's a 91 overall, so we might lose him to the draft. Mueller, not like a super fast guy, but he had a 504 yards. 300 carries for the guy. Man, Bale really did his thing. Averaged over 100 a game. Had 14 rushing touchdowns. Pinner had 7. Mueller ran for 5. Frost, 78 catches for 1,500 yards. 77 for Ingold for just over 1,200. And Talib had 95 catches for just over 1,100 yards. 18 touchdowns for Frost, 11 for Talib, 8 for Ingold. That is insane. 95 catches. That's crazy. Oh, man. Free ended up with 112 tackles. He had 88 at the end of the year. He did win linebacker of the year. So 112 for him, 15 for loss, and 5 sacks. He did have an interception, which I feel is kind of weird. Boykins is our slot guy. He had 92 tackles, 2 for loss. And then Volek, our freshman, what a stud. He won the Corner of the Year award. He had 86 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 6 picks. That obviously led the team. Merchant also had 4, and then we had a few guys with 1. Leading the way for sacks is Nestor, our left outside linebacker. He is a sophomore. And then Reeser had 12 as well. Lorig and Martindale coming in with 8 apiece. And then kicking-wise, I missed one with him. So he dropped a little bit. And that one extra point he missed was in that game, the Ole Miss game, to send it to OT, which is crazy. But again, overall, really solid year. Those stats are insane. I did want to go and look at rushing really fast. The nation. Bale, 302 carries. The next closest was 243 at Michigan State. Oof. But he also played, 4 less games than we did, too, so Anyway, crazy stat line. Mueller led the league. Let's see, receiving wise, we had Talib had the most catches. We had 2 in the top 5, and then Talib's down here just outside the top 10. So stat wise, we lit it up. The 2 players leaving. Bale and Reeser. Let's see if we can persuade Bale to come back. He is going to go to the draft, which is no surprise. Then we get Reeser back. We lose a 88 overall guard. So Bale's our top guy. We're losing Reeser. We get back, who's a 90. Sheed is a 90. He's a senior. He's going to get drafted as well. Then we got Stewart and Brittenham. 280 left side of the line guys. 87 for free safety, and Horner, he was fast. He was like 96 speed. Mueller, who's an 87, led the team to a national championship. Obviously, those 2 are projected to get drafted. Cone is an 86. Martindale, I'd be shocked if he doesn't maybe get drafted. He played really well. Fleck played a pretty big role. Stromberg kind of fell down just because of his speed. He was only like 86 speed. Boykins, we saw that he was like the second leading tackler on the team. And then a couple guys. Soro had to come in late because our starting center got hurt. But again, a lot of talent that is leaving. The big one, Jose Bale. But that's the way it goes when you are successful. Take a look here into the draft results. Bale was a second-round pick. Sheed was a second-round pick. Mueller jumped up to the 4th round. Horner was a 5th round. Stewart and Brittingham also got drafted in the 7th round. So Martindale did not get up there. Just probably too low of an overall, which makes sense. So got some guys that got drafted, which should really help the school grade of pro potential, which is really solid. So we're going to go ahead through the offseason recruiting, and then I will see you at the end of that at National Signing Day. We are here at National Signing Day. We brought in 4 5-stars this year, and a host of 4-stars, and then a bunch of 3-stars. And the transfer portal, we brought in like 4 2-stars. We're not getting any love from 3-stars or 4-star transfers quite yet. So we were just really looking for positional needs in that aspect of things. So first, we start out with the right outside linebacker, 5-star run stopper. He has impact development. We have a star development for our right tackle, Mick Prescott. Impact for 5-star Fields, who is a right end run stopper. A star for an athlete, which is great. Agile athlete, star development. He's going to be either somewhere on the O-line and or D-tackle, depending on his strength. And then we have impact for left tackle, who is a 4-star gem. Only an impact is kind of a bummer for a 4-star, but he looks super good, has 90 strength. Elite for Nick Marshall, who is a scrambler, 88 speed, 91 throw power. When I was starting to he was a gem, and he might be moved depending on where he can play. He might be like an outside linebacker type player. Impact for a right end, star for our D tackle, Terrell. Another impact. Now we're out of the gems. We got a normal right tackle. We got a normal center. We got a normal right tackle as a 4-star. Another normal. Oh, man. And then we knew this guy was going to be normal, but he had 95 speed. So we were really looking for him to be good out of the gates. And he's fast. So the 4-stars are super disappointing with normals. And Northcutt we also knew was going to be normal, but we needed like 5 guards as needs. So we ended up continuing to go for him as well. Impact for Hamrick, who is 91 speed, 90 throw power. He's more likely to play quarterback than the other athlete that we had before. Slot corner, 91 speed, has impact. Impact for a right guard. Star for Surusu. I have no idea how to say that. But star development for a 3-star right tackle, which is really great to see. Another star development for an agile guy. This is probably going to be an O-lineman. His strength's only 88. Another star for a left guard. Impact for our right guard. And then we get down to normals with 89 speed. He has 96 throw power, 96 excel. I'm really hoping Dakota Neal could be a rush right outside linebacker or something like that. He's only 5'11", though, which is tough even for a quarterback. Normal for that athlete, impact. And then we just, like, absolutely sniped Jameel Duck. Like, I literally put him on the board last week and just maxed out his points because I had the points, and we got him. So it was kind of insane. He has impact development trait. I know nothing about him, though. He's a field general, and I don't like field generals typically. And then this corner, he had 91 speed. Again, we just needed a lot of corners. But he has normal development. Then here are our transfers. They're all freshmen. This guy has 90 speed, so we went ahead and went with him. 91 speed. This guy's star development, Taylor Rawlings. Oh, that's huge, actually. Impact for Pope, which is good, too. And then J.C. Webb at center. He's a pass protector, so he probably won't really play a whole lot. He has normal dev as well. As the class goes, we were 8 last week, so that's why I went and I sniped that 3-star quarterback to see if it would help any. It really didn't. Last year, we were up at like 2, I think, or 3, but we had 7 5-stars last year. And then, like, next year, we're not going to really have to go after a lot of people, so we're probably going to go top-heavy on 5-stars for sure. And then round out with, like, 3-star gems and different things like that. So, 8th best, we had 4 5-stars, 11 4-stars, 12 3-stars, and then 4 2-stars out of the portal. All right, that is going to be the episode coming off of a national championship here at Akron. Just a reminder, this series was really just to get the lowest rated team or one of the lowest rated teams in the higher rated conferences to become a pretty prevalent program. So I'm looking at like 3 national championships. I might go down to 2. I'm just struggling to find a way to keep this series kind of fresh. Obviously, chasing that national championship, that first one, is really kind of the big basis, but now kind of trying to grow it. I mean, just with the relocation being because of geography, right? So, like, it's just hard to make it very spicy. So we went from 12 games in a conference to 10 last year. That way you could play a couple more of those powerhouse schools outside of your conference. So outside of that, like, going down to like maybe 9 or 8 games, I don't know how really else to keep this interesting, even for like yourself, but myself included, trying to record it and things like that. So if we win 2 in a row, or like 2 out of 3, we might pull the trigger and end the series. But just so that's out there, I've seen a lot of really high views on this series, so I appreciate the support through it, and it's showing that you really enjoy it. I just don't want it to become redundant and boring for you either. As always, I hope you have a good day. I hope you had a great day. Spread the word. Peace.